It's a familiar sight here on Maryland's eastern shore. A flock of white-feathered chickens eating, resting, growing, just what they were bred to do. Less familiar is the scene playing out in the next pen over, and the next, and the next.
This particular house was redesigned in 2016 and set up specifically to do research in breeds. We have a total of 5 different breeds that we're looking at right now.
Randy Mitchell is the Vice President of Technical Services at Perdue Farms, a poultry processing company that contracts with farmers in Maryland and beyond. Today, he's at Perdue's Westover Research Farm in Wycomico County, where his team is studying a rainbow of alternative chicken breeds. The goal? To see if one might be a good fit for large-scale production.
The vast majority of chicken grown today is conventional birds.
Like these.
They're all white, and they have been bred for feed efficiency, for weight gain, and for meat yield.
In other words, they're cheap to raise, they grow big fast, and they produce a lot of meat. So what's the catch?
There are some consequences that result from that fast growth, which may include some metabolic diseases and lameness. And that's one of our biggest reasons for looking at alternative breeds.
These are called red bros.
These birds will go outside a lot, they'll do a lot of perching, they'll probably run around and do a lot more playing.
Another key difference? They're slower growing, taking about 8 weeks to reach market weight, compared to 6 weeks for conventional birds, which is exactly what some consumers are looking for.
There are many food service companies and restaurants that have already pledged to, over time, move to slower growing breeds. So we know that demand is coming, and we want to make sure that we are providing the best possible bird for that market.
They do that by monitoring factors like weight gain, behavior, and health. But demand or no demand, the slower growth rate means that these birds cost farmers more to raise, which in turn raises the price of the meat itself.
We have to have a consumer that demands the product and that are also willing to pay the higher price that ultimately will be required for these to be successful.
To see things from a consumer's perspective, Perdue turns to its Innovation Center in Salisbury, led by Vice President of Research and Development Parker Hall. Every Perdue product on the market, from frozen chicken nuggets to boneless, skinless breasts, was developed right here. And a slower-growing breed might be one of the next things through the pipeline.
Here, what we would do is when Dr. Mitchell produces a new alternative breed, we would take those birds and run them through a series of tests to understand their conformation.
Or how the meat is distributed on the body. Alternative breeds tend to have smaller breasts, but more leg meat than what you'd find in a grocery store.
Also, we would do some cooking tests and then ultimately run it through a sensory panel.
That is, a taste test. The Innovation Center has about 6,000 people in its database of potential taste testers, all of them loyal Perdue customers. On the menu today, red bro chicken breasts, among other things.
Once they're seated at the booths, the samples are passed one at a time through a door. They evaluate the product visually. Sometimes they may evaluate the odor.
And finally, they take a bite and answer a series of questions about taste, texture, juiciness. So what's the verdict?
The differences tend to be more in the size of the bird, the color of the skin, the color of the meat. What we haven't found a whole lot of yet is flavor differences and things like that. We're certainly hopeful that we're going to find that thing as we evaluate various alternative breeds.
After all, it's still early days for this research. As for the question of economic viability,
There are certainly consumers that are more driven by price than by any other attribute, but more and more are deeply concerned by how we raise our birds, what their lives are like, and they're willing to pay more for it.